You guys know about CPAC, right? CPAC for decades has been hosting conservative activists, lawmakers, especially those with presidential aspirations, or just those who have become rock stars on the right for its annual conference just outside of DC. I mean, like getting the CPAC invitation is a thing. Well, this year's event is about to kick off. It happens next week, starting on Wednesday the 19th, and it's going to be the biggest yet. Fresh off of President Trump's huge November victory, with conservatives having the wind at their back, excited, ready to party, and hunker down on the Trump agenda. And I'm honored that I will be one of those in attendance next week. Here's a little look at what you can expect when things kick off.
Before the cabinet room, you saw Donald Trump's next cabinet make waves at CPAC.
Hegseth, RFKJ, Tulsi, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, Stephen Miller, Tom Homan, Elise Stefanik, and more. So isn't that a party you'd like to attend? Joining me now with a preview of all the fun is Mercedes Schlapp. She is actually the former White House Director of Strategic Comms Communications during President Trump's first term, and she is the host of America Uncanceled on CPAC Now. She and her husband, Matt Schlapp, run the American Conservative Union, which hosts CPAC each year. Mercedes, it's on. Welcome to the show. How excited are you?
Oh my, I am so giddy. And wait a second, you talked about the rock star on the right. Megyn Kelly, you're part of that rock star team. So we are so honored to have you come and speak at CPAC.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. So we got to know, like, what are you going to talk about? Like, give us a preview.
I don't know. What do you want me to talk about? You know, is there like one issue you like more than others? I've got a lot to say about a lot of subjects. Last year I went and we talked about the lawfare. And I remember saying, he's winning. He's winning. He's got to pull the inside straight, and he's doing it. Look where we are a year later. I mean, the whole conservative movement is in a different place a year later, Mercedes.
You know, it's the conservative movement, which has just tremendously expanded, right? So you've got obviously the government, where we've seen President Trump and his administration take hold, move quickly to make significant changes to really bust up this very status quo, stagnant, in some cases mismanaged and corrupt system. And then on top of that, you've got kind of these tech titans that are really battling it out to see how can we invest more in America, or in the case of Elon Musk, who is figuring out how do we basically make the government transparent to know where American tax dollars are going. So what I love about CPAC is the stars are aligning. It's the meeting of these great minds, right? It's going to be the government officials. It's going to be President Trump, Vice President Vance. Then on top of that, you're going to see a lot of great announcements coming out in terms of these tech titans. On top of that, you're going to see the Bitcoin guy, like one of the major, basically investors of Bitcoin coming. I mean, think about how transformative this is. On top of that, you've got MAHA happening, which is how are we going to make America healthy again? How are we going to make our military strong? How are we going to make our border strong? Truly, Megyn, when I tell you that the energy in the CPAC room is going to be like something we have never seen, I predict it just even today that is what we're going to witness. We're going to witness the meeting of the great minds, the ability to come together and say, yes, we are victorious right now, but there is so much work to be done that we need to make sure that our grassroots activists have the tools they need, or have the sword and shield to take on this fight into their local communities and try to continue to have these conservative wins, these freedom wins in their states.
These really are the all-stars of the Trump cabinet, people who, you know, most of the press would give anything to talk to be able to interview, all of whom are showing up to speak to the CPAC audience, to get people enthusiastic about the agenda, and actually to give us a bit of a preview on how they are going to challenge the, over 40 lawsuits that have been filed so far. It's not like the Trump team's going to roll over and just take it. It's not like they're done issuing executive orders or pushing legislation either. So in a way, you kind of lift the dress up and let us know, like, what's their plan on both offense and defense, straight from the horse's mouth. So did you say we're getting both a Trump and a Vance appearance?
That is what we have planned. We are looking forward to having them there. And I got to tell you something. It is something spectacular that is also happening. We are kicking off CPAC with the CPAC International Summit. We're having foreign leaders come from across the globe. Because why? CPAC, they have come to us, over 40 countries, to say, how do we have CPAC in our country? How do we stop the fake news? How do we stop woke ideology? How do we fight back against the communist and the globalist? How do we get organized? And so you'll have delegations from across the globe who will be joining us. We've got President Javier Milei, who also will be speaking, along with other foreign leaders that we have not yet announced. So it truly is the conservative movement, the freedom movement. I call it the freedom movement, basically taken off on the international level at a rate I don't think we've ever seen. And why? Because President Trump needs strong allies across the globe to be able to ensure that we have peace in the world and truly economic prosperity. Because these countries, these conservative leaders in these countries, they want sovereign nations. They don't want the money coming from the U.S. They want to be able to figure out investment opportunities. They want to make sure their people are prospering as well, and also figure out how they can build their own MAGA movement in their country. It's truly a remarkable phenomenon.
Meanwhile, we can be taking notes from Javier Milei on how he cut all these government, departments. Exactly. I think we already did take some notes from him. But now, two things. First of all, can people still sign up for this? If they haven't yet gotten tickets, is it too late?
Now, I would move quickly. The tickets are selling out at certain levels. You can go to cpac.org to figure out what tickets you want to be able to basically buy. We'd love to have you all come. I'll tell you, for those who came for the inauguration and it was freezing cold and they really couldn't see the president speak, you'll have really a warm room, a nice chair to sit in, and some good food. Okay, that's what I can promise you. Yes, it does matter.
I went last year. It was the first time I ever went. I had such a positive experience. I loved every minute. It wasn't like these other events where you cannot get in, you stand in line forever.
Right.
It was actually really well organized. You've been doing this a while. You know how to handle crowds, especially crowds that are there to see the president, which involves an extra layer of security. You've dealt with that. And I, too, was one of the comfortable ones and loved the CPAC attendees. I have to say, there was a special magic in that crowd. Honest to God, I was like, what is it? What are these people eating and drinking that's making them so positive, enthusiastic, and fun? And this year's going to be that on steroids, Mercy, because
that's right.
He's won. They've had such a huge consequential victory. This is like a victory lap, only substantive, because real things are getting done. So, I mean, has it been like totally joyous? I know planning an event like this is hard, but have you felt the difference in the air?
Absolutely. I will say it's been almost strangely calm. There's definitely a peace associated with building out this massive event. First of all, we have an incredible team on the ground that's pulling this event together. But secondly, I think it's a sense that we're all just we're moving along all together, basically knowing what has to get done, who needs to be part of this incredible conference. And, you have the speakers coming to you saying, we would love to be part of CPAC. And I think it's the embracing of, I'm just so proud to be part of this incredible movement. For so long, so many people, so many of our MAGA supporters, parents, even, young college kids, students, this, they've been beaten down. I mean, they were bullied. They were told to shut up. They were told that your views are racist, fascist, saying horrific things. And one of the things about CPAC that I always loved is that these individuals knew that they weren't alone. They knew they had a family. They knew they had a community with CPAC. And for us, our family is all involved in it. I mean, we have our 5 girls that come and help us out at CPAC every year. They know what's at stake. They know why we fight for what we fight, which is to save Western civilization, to stop the commies, and to basically fortify our families and protect our faith and protect our country. And it's a beautiful, beautiful movement. I don't know how many, I would say even marriages or engagements have come out of CPAC. So I always encourage all my single friends, you must go to CPAC, because if you don't find your significant other at church, CPAC is a great place to meet
there
someone.
Were very, a high number of attractive men there. I do remember that from last year. Like, what's going on? I'm married, but I still have eyes. But if you want to see some of the Megyn Kelly Show favorites too, Tom Homan's going to speak. We mentioned that, but he was just on. Everyone loves Tom Homan now. Mike Davis, who is not quite as big a name as the ones that I mentioned in that promo, or that we mentioned in that promo, but my audience loves him. He's been on for years.
Mike Benz is joining us too. Mike Benz is
amazing. Fighting the good fight. Rick Grinnell, Eric Prince, these are all people who have been on the show who the audience knows. So this is a great way to see so many of the stars on the right who you see on your favorite shows here and there, but they're all together in one place. You can catch a bunch of them. CPAC.org, CPAC.org, Wednesday the 19th next week through Saturday the 22nd. Mercy, thank you. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. It's such a blessing, and we cannot wait. We cannot wait for the Megyn Kelly speech. I will be sitting right there in front to watch it.
I'm excited for it too. All right, we'll see you in DC next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point, as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, and we could have a very big problem on our hands. So what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it does not cost you a cent out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text MK to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold and a copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. Text my initials MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.